Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where we are currently chilling a little bit here. Our infamy is currently a little higher than I'd like it to be. We're at 40.7, so we're going to let that drop for a bit here while we work on enacting laissez-faire. We're also working on constructing these railways, which is relatively low construction efficiency, but we have a bunch of power plants being worked on as well. So that's all looking good. We are currently at minimum taxes, although we do have some consumption taxes. These are mostly on things that are going to affect higher end people, right? These aren't going to affect our lower strata all that much. If we look in here, they're currently paying 12.3% of their income in taxes, and they're paying an average of minus 13% base price for their pop needs. So that's not terrible. We could boost up the price of clothes, or rather reduce the price of clothes, groceries, and services a little bit further, but I think for now, that's reasonably fine. So that's all looking... Oh my. Right, I did want to point out, we are on a new version of the game. That's probably why all of this is happening. Okay, we're on version 1.3.5 now, and Paradox did mention that this was going to potentially cause some issues. If it does, we'll revert back, but for the moment, it looked like it was primarily going to be a problem with, if you're playing with Vox Populi enabled, which we are, but in France, specifically, which we're not. So we'll see if we run into any problems, but it looks like we're going to have to go through and redo all of our production methods. Okay, so that's fine. Honestly, if these numbers are accurate, we're going to be getting a lot from this. 3.15k there, 9.8 or 983, 2.92k, 2.93k, 2.39k. The textile mills can be moved down as well. Yeah, this is theoretically a lot. So I guess this is a good opportunity to just go through all of these and make sure that we are on the production methods that we want, right? 7k there? Yeah. It's a decent opportunity to do it, I suppose. So we'll just make our way through this, no problem whatsoever. Improved fertilizers barely making us anything. Yeah, these chemical plants are not hugely profitable at this moment. Synthetics plants, we do actually have a synthetic plant being built in our... Where are you? Here. We have it being built in our private construction. Okay, that's our first synthetic plant. Not bad there. Of course, we can't bring down our motor industries just yet. Breech loaders, that's slightly negative. Not shocked about that. Arms industries in general are going to be slightly negative for us for the moment. Electric streetlights look good. We're on public trams. Yes. We should be on free churches here. 24.3k there, allegedly. We'll see how much of this we actually get, for the record. But I think that the reason that this is like this is... Well, we did conquer this state, so there's some of that. But I think the primary reason for this is because of the patch. So we'll just go through and get all of that done real quickly here. Livestock ranches, we need a little bit on. That's all looking good. Anything else in here that really does need work? Coffee plantations. Cool. Tea plantations. Sure. Banana plantations. And our logging camps need a lot as well. Okay. Hardwood production, barely making us anything. Slightly negative there, slightly negative here. I'm not too concerned about that, though. Okay, so all of that looks fine. We'll auto-expand any of these that we can. Okay, yep, that makes sense. So let's tick forward here, and we'll see what that does. We're currently slightly negative financially. Very slightly. And I do expect that to come positive over the next couple of ticks here. So far, we're just kind of hovering around 1.4k. That's fine for the moment, though. I'm not too concerned about that. Our GDP is definitely skyrocketing. No doubt there. And how are we doing for that infamy? We're losing 0.12 per week. We're at 39.5 right now. We could consider attacking like Buganda or Bunyoro fairly soon. And yeah, now we're starting to go positive financially. So that looks great. How are we doing for our construction here? 10k peasants, 500k unemployed. So we still have a reasonable amount of unemployed people. The Conservative Party has been formed. Okay, well, we'll see what that ends up meaning. We've got an election in 6 months here. Hopefully we can pass laissez-faire before then. But honestly, I don't think that's even a possibility, is it? I don't think we're going to pass it before the election. Obstructionism in the trade unions, huh? 10% enactment success chance is actually very important, so we will take that. Wonderful. That looks great. The Marina Kingdom is damaging relations. Hilarious. We built all of our army centers in Oromia, correct? Correct. So we can think about spending this surplus on expanding our military. How much is that per level? 0.37k, in theory. Yeah, that's a doable thing. Definitely. We're going to want to expand these not all at once, I think. 10% momentum to the Conservative Party. So I'm going to queue up in Gondar, maxing out our military. But I queued that up at the bottom of the list. I want to let all of this go through. I want to see how we're going to be doing financially here. And I want to keep an eye on our unemployment numbers, which I believe are, in fact, dropping. It bears noting that in terms of these numbers, power plants and railways are not great ways to get them to go down. They take a while to build, and they don't have that many more workers. So they're not an efficient way to get workers to work, right? So that's fine. We'll keep an eye on the current situation here. Market access is low a little bit right now. Okay, noted. Probably due to this nonsense. But for the moment, this seems fine. We'll get our railways in Eritrea done. How are we doing on taxation? Taxation looks good. We have some infrastructure issues here, but Eritrea should be done there. Ethiopian Congo and Ethiopian Congo Oriental are both being worked on, so that seems fine. Ethiopian Uganda, on the other hand, that could definitely use employees. More than anything. Employees. Okay. Hello, pause menu. So we are dipping financially negative here, but we do have $1 million in reserve, so I'm not too concerned about that. We should be seeing that fluctuating around based on how we're utilizing our investment pool, so that's fine. Laissez-faire is ticking again here. Backroom deals. So that's another stall. Minus 30% enactment time. That authority loss is probably acceptable. Yes. Okay. So we'll continue rolling this. The odds are not amazing. We've got a 70% stall chance, and we've already hit 2 setbacks. We may need to back off on this one. We'll see how it looks when the election happens. After the election, if our success chance is too low, and our legitimacy should be fine. After the election, we'll reevaluate this. Aggressive campaigning, huh? Momentum added to the Liberal Party. Now, what party do we actually want? This is the intelligentsia, this is the trade unions. Okay. How's it looking? Oh, the Liberal Party has 95% momentum. So the intelligentsia is not a bad one to put in for liberalization. I don't hate that. We're largely liberalized at this point, though. We're not 100% there, but we've made good progress. And we've also expanded a fair amount recently, so that's all good. How are we doing on our infamy now? 36.6. Okay. How long do we want to chill here? Not forever. That's for sure. I don't want to chill forever. Our economy is growing, although right now it's in a bit of a downturn, but production and agitation. More momentum for the Liberal Party. Cool. So that momentum is at 115%. The Liberal Party is almost certainly going to win, according to the polls. But we'll find out here. Laissez-faire gets another debate here. What is double up? Just 10% enactment success chance? Why would we ever choose this that costs us 12,400 per week when we could do this and get the same bonus? I don't get it. We're going to take the 10% enactment success chance. So far, this is actually looking kind of good. The Liberal Party wins with 36%. So we need to do a free government reform here. Actually, this is the best that we're going to get. Interesting. So 83 is the best that we've got there. We're going to ignore the free government reform then for the moment. Seems perfectly fine. Cool. So we're continuing to tick away on these power plants. And now that the power plants are finishing up, yeah, our unemployment numbers are definitely dropping faster than our peasant numbers are growing. Okay, good to know. So we do not need to expand our construction at this moment. That seems absolutely fine. How long until we start hitting all of those barracks? Well, we're going to have a bunch of these guys that are going to need to be canceled due to lack of arable land. And then we're hitting the barracks here. Now, the barracks will build quite quickly, so that's fine. The question is, why are we building a government administration in Darfur down here? Oh, right, we delayed it because we had construction efficiency reduction in Darfur. Yeah, that would be the case. We currently have 44.7% turmoil here. That does hurt. Definitely hurts. But we are working on bringing that down, so that's looking good. Compromising the people. Another stall here. Plus 10% enactment time. Okay. So I think we can still get laissez-faire through here, but it's not going amazingly well, to be honest. I'm pretty sure we can get it through. So we're finishing up all of our economic growth here for the moment. Photographs of Ethiopia. 5% prestige or legitimacy. Actually, we take the legitimacy here. The legitimacy will put us up to max legitimacy, righteous government. That will mean that we get a lot faster of ticks here. That'll be very, very good. And hopefully we don't have any more bad stalls here. But we do need to pass through 2 levels of enactment. We've got a long ways to go still on laissez-faire. We've already hit our 2 setbacks. So we'll see how that goes. It's going to be interesting, for sure. Foreign emulation, huh? Well, pneumatic tools was just unlocked. That gives us construction sector throughput. Cool. As well as hardwood output, which isn't bad. And resource discovery chance. I do like that. So, a 10% enactment time, 10% enactment chance. We lose some armed forces opinion, but I'm okay with that. We bring this up to a 43% chance now. We're starting to have some good levels of odds here. So that's looking great. Minus 20k is less great. However, we're at minimum taxes. We can always turn up our taxes if we need to. Confusion and delay. Wow, these stalls are coming so quick. Documents over people. Sure. That gives us enough to enact a decree. That's the term I'm looking for. We could definitely do that. Something like violent suppression over in Darfur. Or we could enact a consumption tax, like luxury furniture, which makes sense to me. Let's do that for the moment. That'll offset some of this deficit. And I'm hoping that the deficit will... Well, actually, the reason that deficit came up was because of the throughput increase in our construction. That's why that happened. So we're working on arc welding right now. That is a long ways off. Indeed, we are capped on our innovation as well. So for the moment, that's reasonably fine. We have a 49% chance, and this is ticking so fast. We got another stall here. Stay focused on the law. Ooh, and we got the minus 10%. That's sad. But our rolls are coming through very quickly now. So that's looking good. And we do need to, of course, scale into this construction speed, right? We're not balanced around that. We could, in theory... Well, I think I'm okay with continuing to spend our gold reserves right now. I was thinking about increasing our taxes. I think we can hold that for now. Hey, we pass into study, finally. That's about time. Cool. So 53 days here. Sure, until these colonies finish up. Philosophical pragmatism has now been unlocked. Wonderful. That will actually help our bureaucracy somewhat. We definitely could use more bureaucracy. Knowledge of feminism, wow, apparently I cannot speak, is spreading to us. That's actually not bad. We are at 1.66% annual projected pop growth. I feel like we can definitely do away with the 5% birth rate from having what is it that we're on right now? We're on like the worst one for women's rights. Yeah, legal guardianship. That's not ideal. So I think we can definitely work on that. 10% enactment success chance, bringing us back up to 49%. Cool. Wow, apparently I definitely cannot speak. Absolutely great. 56%? Okay, laissez-faire's political movement got additional support. That's great. So how close are we to working on those barracks? We're starting to get pretty close. If we need to, we can always crank up our taxes. I'm not too concerned about that. Hey, laissez-faire progresses into voting. I like it. So we know that feminism is being exposed. What else is? Automatic bottle blowers? Anything in the military tree? Yeah? Yeah? That's fine. Seems reasonably okay. Malaria prevention is 26 months out at this point if we were to do that. But there's so little left to colonize over here, I think it's fine. Britain's just going to take most of this. I'm not too worried about it. Hey, laissez-faire goes through. Okay, so 75% private construction allocation. We cannot build this livestock ranch. I'm just checking to see. Okay, we're still building a decent amount in non-private construction. So that seems fine. The investment pool is currently growing, which is definitely intriguing. And what law do we want to put through now? Well, we're on laissez-faire. I think that's fine. Racial segregation, we could go to cultural exclusion. And actually, we can put through a consumption tax here. That would be a tax on coffee, which seems fine. So we're on no health system right now. I'd like to get to public health insurance. We definitely could work towards that. We also have appointed bureaucrats. Elected bureaucrats would be helpful. We don't have a way to get there at this moment. Okay, so that's not an option. We could go down to total separation. That's not terrible. Sure, we'll make our way there. That seems fine. So with that underway, the question now becomes, how long until we go back positive here? We've got 720k left in our gold reserves. That's dropping somewhat. We're constructing reasonably quickly at this point. Yeah, those unemployment numbers are definitely dropping. So that's looking good. All of these railways are being constructed, but a lot of this is negative construction efficiency, which isn't great. No doubt about that. But let's make our way through that, and then we're going to make these barracks in Gondar. Freedom of conscience, preservation. Okay, I'm not too concerned about that. Man, we're cruising through these. Like, this isn't as fast as the previous one, but this is definitely pretty quick ticks. How are we doing on our infamy at this point? 31.3. If we were to attack Buganda right now, what would we end up doing here? 22.5 infamy. So that would put us up just over 50. Yeah, we'll need to wait until we're down to at least 27.5. I don't want to go over 50. So that'll be fine for the moment. And we'll just continue conquering our way through over here. We've got plenty of other places to attack. We've got Wadai, and that opens up quite a lot over this direction. So that all seems reasonably fine. No major issues there. Our primary issue right now is our deficit. We do have 2k in unrealized taxes. Is that just from turmoil? Actually, Oromia does require additional tax capacity. So we'll grab that. That is, of course, a top priority to construct. So that's all looking good there. Let's spend down our gold reserves, and then once we pass through our gold reserves, we can consider raising our taxes at that point. Not that we need to raise them very far. So that's all looking good. And these constructions are finishing nicely as well. We've got this last railway, and then we're going to start working on barracks. So barracks are beginning construction now. 486k? Yeah, I'm not concerned. At this moment, I'm completely okay with spending down the gold reserves. What are we going to spend those gold reserves on, if not construction? We're 86 million GDP, which is the number 8 GDP worldwide. We're definitely making gains there. I mean, with what we have for natural resources, we're never going to be number 1 without significant conquest, right? That's just not in the cards for Ethiopia. Apparently this guy was exiled. We can also get... That's not in the budget for Ethiopia. We don't need that pipeline. Pipelines, I think, aren't very good. They just cost money and give 10 infrastructure. I don't really care about that. Why do that when we can build a railway? I don't get it. But whatever. Let's see what happens with total separation here. We have already passed into study. This is going quite well. Nobody's really opposed to total separation other than the Orthodox Church, so it seems fine. So this is all looking good, right? We're going to be done colonizing over here relatively soon. Allies of convenience. Tally this favor. They certainly will. So that bumps us up to 30%. Looks good. We're going to finish up all of these railways eventually, but it's the barracks that are finishing, and the barracks are just going to be a financial drain on us, right? That's definitely going to be the case. The Ottoman Empire just rivaled us. That is not a sentence I expected to be saying this game. Britain will defend us. 1191 versus our 1020. Actually, we're pretty close to the Ottoman Empire in terms of power level. That's actually shocking, and we're dramatically increasing our power level at this moment. And we can go a lot further on that front. The main question with expanding our military is how expensive is it going to get? Answer, really, really expensive. If we were to fully expand our military, yes, we'd be tremendously powerful. But that would also be very expensive. If we were to fully expand our military, could we beat Britain? In terms of raw battalion numbers, possibly. That power projection at this tech level, though, that's hard to beat. No doubt about that. Our military tech is a long ways from being done. Our tech in general is a long ways from being done. I'm actually slightly surprised how far away we are in tech, considering we've been capping our innovation basically every week the entire game. Granted, we've not been building that much over our innovation cap. So that's something to say about it. I think a lot of it, though, is just that we're an unrecognized regional power. We also have rural folk old ways. Interesting. What is this? Okay, yeah, I don't care about that. Where is that rural folk old ways? Is that a modifier in here? And what does that come from? There's a lot of mortalities there. It's probably hidden in here somewhere. Well, we know it's connected to the rural folk, right? So it's probably in here somewhere. The rural folk are currently unhappy, which means that old ways is currently actually because they're powerful. It has a 100% stronger effect. Okay, fair enough. The real question is, as a hypothetical, if we were to do this, There's nobody that we think would help us. We would definitely want some help to break free from Britain, but we're not in a hugely onerous relationship with Britain. To be honest, it's not like British Raj, who's constantly paying a ridiculous sum of money to Britain. We don't have that problem. To be honest, I think that we get more from Britain than we give them. By a pretty wide margin. If we were to do that, we'd want to fight somebody recognized, like the Ottoman Empire. Out of curiosity, Egypt is unrecognized, correct? Yes. We could theoretically fight France. So, as a theoretical situation, Britain would likely join us in fighting France. You know, I just had a weird thought. If we invite Britain in, they assume war leadership. Okay, I'm gonna say the episode is done here. I'm gonna make a save, and I'm gonna run a quick test here. I want to know something about how the game works, which is, as a hypothetical, and we are going to revert this, just to be clear. As a hypothetical, if we were to start a war with France, right? So we start a war with France, and this is probably a terrible idea to do, but if we were to start this war, and then go in here, and we add a war goal of recognition is not an available war goal? Did they change how the unrecognized country modifier works? Must claim their recognition through a diplomatic play. Okay, so I think that we can't combine it with this conquest, which means that Britain would very likely, if we reload this save, that should mean that Britain can't join us in seeking recognition. I think, is the way that this will work. But I would like to know this for a fact. So let's check on France again. There we go. We'll just do that. So force recognition is not available because we're not an unrecognized major power. We're an unrecognized regional power. So we need to go against just a regular regional power then? Like, hypothetically, Tripolitania, if we had a CB. Oh, we have to be a major power in order to do that. Okay, so if we would want to bring it up to major power, we'd need to bump up our prestige. So as a hypothetical, we don't need to crank our taxes. We can bump up our government wages, we can bump up our military wages, and then we can crank our taxes to, say, here. This is a very, very hypothetical thing, and we're not going to be keeping it here, right? So that bumps our prestige to 785. We can't achieve a higher rank than unrecognized regional power due to being the subject of the British Republic. Okay, so if we wanted to become recognized, which I'm not certain that we do, I believe that we would have to be independent first at this moment. We can test that. So we start an independence diplomatic play here. Or actually, even better, we can just swap over and we're going to be reverting this, right? I'm just testing to see how this is going to work. Apparently I'm having a coughing fit. Fantastic. And we can also see that Britain doesn't make money. Good to know, but that's not relevant. We're going to grant independence here. Diplomatic, we need to not be in this. Okay. Well, we're just going to capitulate that just for the sake of argument here, right? So we're going to go to Ethiopia, and then I believe we need to tick. Is not a committed participant in any diplomatic play. Now, this is going to break Ethiopia, to be clear. I guess what we'll need to do is we'll need to switch back to Ethiopia. The AI will have broken everything here, and that's fine. We're going to be reverting this. I just want to make absolutely sure. So we go here, and we can't demand independence either. Interesting. Because we're apparently a committed participant in a diplomatic play. Well, regardless, I think that the answer here, and let's load this back in for my own purposes. I think the answer here is we cannot become recognized without first breaking free from Britain. And that's the answer that we were looking for, is whether we would need to break free from Britain to become recognized or not. That appears to be the case. So that's great. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in... Hang on a moment. Okay, yeah, this is correct. This is the correct save. I just needed to tick forward here. Okay. You can leave your offerings in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings to the engagement gods. I'm kind of discombobulated at this moment because of the saving and loading. Fantastic. And a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, James, Shadow Wolf, Lohan80, Rogue Corvid, Kentogan, Andy McGar, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.